Hold on. All right, let's try it that way. Are you able to hear me now? We're let's see. Let's see. All right, let's try it that way. Once again, everyone, welcome to the webinar Unleashing the Inner Leader in You. I am your host tonight, Daryl L. Fletcher, and the founder of the Herd Leader Academy. And we want to make sure that we have everybody's information in. So if you are watching us or streaming live, go ahead and put some information in the comment section. Tonight, we're going to be covering a lot of information. And so all that information is simply based to get you to an understanding of where horsemanship meets leadership. I'm going to say that again. Tonight's information that we're going to be sharing is an opportunity for you to understand where leadership meets horsemanship. Horses are a great tool and a great opportunity for individuals to learn how to lead. And I don't want to get ahead of myself because all the information and content that we'll be sharing tonight is so valuable and so important. But I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen and giving an opportunity for everyone to understand. So if you can, just give me a thumbs up or in the comment section. Hey, I can hear you. I know we were having some audio issues earlier, but yeah, just want to make sure that everyone has the audio available and that we are recording and on the right track. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, you can hear me now. Excellent, excellent. So we're going to go ahead and jump into tonight's content and information. And like I said, tonight we're talking about unlocking your leadership potential through equine assisted activities. Through equine assisted activities, that's just a fancy word for basically saying working with horses. And so we want to make sure that everyone tonight has an opportunity to understand how working with horses is not only a personal benefit, but also it can actually be a professional benefit. And so, once again, my name is Daryl Fletcher. I am the founder and creator of the Herd Leader Academy. And I just want to tell you, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate you taking out your time to get this quality information. And equine assisted care, equine assisted learning and equine assisted activities, it's really not a new thing, but however, it is new to a variety of communities. And so we like to expose equine assisted learning and equine assisted activities to as many people as we can to let them know that this is a beneficial tool that they can actually begin to put in their tool bag to have an opportunity to use both in their personal life and in their professional life. So, if you don't know, not only am I the founder of the Herd Leader Academy, I also am the founder and operator of Sofa Ranch, Stretch Out on Faith Again, which is positioned in Winston, Georgia. And we are a 501c3 nonprofit recognized by the IRS and the government. And our goal there is to build an environment where people can grow, learn, and heal through the healing power of horses. And so, with that, the Herd Leader Academy is something that we wanted to get into maybe, I'm going to say, about a year, because we saw the need for leadership and we saw the need for people to understand how to lead. So that's one of the reasons why we started the Herd Leader Academy. So I want to make sure that everyone is aware of what exactly are we going to be talking about tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, but I want to break it down into a couple of categories. And we are talking about number one, why are you here? Why are you here? Why horses? Why do we use horses as a tool in order for people to understand how to be better professional leaders and personal leaders? We want to talk about the horse way versus the human way. We want to talk about the greatest need of a leader and how horses can help you become a better leader. And then we want to jump into next steps. What are we going to do with all this information that we got? What are we going to do with all this content that we're going to be learning tonight? So I'm really just excited to jump right in to the content and the webinar tonight. And so we are recording this particular webinar. We will be there will be a replay posted, but for those who have an opportunity to work with us, we will be able to give you these printed out PDFs for your own usage and uh, for your own usage. Okay. All right. So, as an emerging leader, I just want you to kind of ask yourself, as an emerging leader, what specific leadership qualities or skills do you hope to develop? If you have an opportunity to put that in the comment section, I want to make sure that we are interacting with one another tonight. As an emerging leader, what specific skills or qualities do you hope to develop? Because I know one of the things that I was addressed with as being a leader, for those of you who don't know, I was an associate pastor, an assistant youth pastor for several years. And with that, one of the challenging things that for me, when I was going through that interviewing process with my leadership team at the time, he asked me, what are some of the things that you need to work on as a leader? And I had to be real honest with myself. And one of those things that really that I had to work with or work on as a leader was follow through. I would start a project, leave it alone, and keep it moving. I would start this thing over here or start a project and then just leave it dead. So follow through was one of the things that I actually had to work on as a leader and still working on in my professional and personal life, making sure that whatever I start, I can finish. Whatever I'm initiating, I will follow through with that. So, just for a mental note for yourself, what are some of the skills and qualities that you hope to develop? And like I said, if you have an opportunity, put that information in the comment section. We would love to hear from you as well. This is an interactive session, so don't think that you're just going to be sitting here and listening to me all night. I want you to chime in. I want you to raise your hand if you have a comment, question, or concern, and we'll keep this thing moving. All right, excellent, excellent, excellent. So let's go. These are some of the key questions that I want you to be thinking about as we dive into this particular evening of discussion. And said, what are the key attributes or behaviors that differentiate an effective leader from an average leader? What are the attributes or behavior that differentiate an effective leader from an average leader? We've all had someone that was, and maybe it could have been a supervisor, could have been a teacher, could have been somebody that we were, in our life, and and we felt it that, you know what, there has to be a better way to do that. And so with that, um those are kind of things that we're going to be talking about tonight. What's the difference between an effective leader or an average leader? And if you're anything like me, I know you want to be an effective leader and not an average leader. Second question I want you to think about: what is the most frustrating thing about being a leader? What is the most frustrating thing about being a leader? Because so many leaders want the benefits of leadership, but they don't want the accountability of leadership. So, uh, many times people get frustrated because they have the authority, but people don't respect them, or they have the position, but people don't like them. And so, many times that could put a person in a frustrating position in a frustrating time. And so, with that, we want you to keep in mind that particular question: what is the most frustrating thing about being a leader? So these are all questions, like I said, that I want you to be able to handle um, or answer for yourself. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Tila, for making that comment, saying that that's so real. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So why horses? Why should I choose a horse to be a catalyst in my life, to be a tool in my life, to be a resource in my life, to be a better leader? Why should I use horses? And I want to kind of like just break it down a little bit in more. So it says one of the most remarkable aspects of horses is their ability to reflect and respond to human emotions, creating a unique mirror of our inner selves. When we interact with these magnificent creatures, we enter a realm of nonverbal communication where intentions, body language, and energy take center stage. Horses possess an innate sensitivity to the slightest shift in our humor, enabling us to provide instant feedback. It's so important that we have an opportunity to understand that when we're working with these great creatures, we have to be active. We have to be present. And it's so important to be a leader. That is one of the key attributes of being a leader, to be active and to be present. The other reason why is the equine connection serves as a catalyst for personal growth and leadership development. As leaders, we strive to inspire, motivate, and guide those under our care. Horses, with the intuitive nature, require us to embody these qualities authentically. They demand honesty, clarity, emotional congruency, and our interaction, teaching us the importance of self awareness and genuine communication. And so, before we go into another slide, I just kind of want to touch base with everybody because that statement right there is so powerful. So many times in our lives, how many times in our lives have we been physically in one place, but mentally in another place? And it's hard to lead people when you are not aware of what's going on the inside of you. You're not aware of your emotional capacity. You're not aware of all the different things that are going around you. And horses demand your presence. Horses demand for you to be aware because if not, they will take advantage of the situation. And if they take advantage of the situation, guess what? They are going to take advantage of you. And many times we may find ourselves that we can actually get hurt if we're not present and actively engaging with the horse because you represent the leader to that horse. Horses are herd animals, and so they're constantly looking for leadership. They're constantly looking for for safety. And when we're working with horses, we actually provide that safety. We actually provide that unique ability for the horse to be at comfort and for the horse to be at peace. Many times I've seen people struggle with horses and they're like, oh my goodness, this horse is so stupid. Oh my goodness, this horse is acting crazy. The horse is not acting crazy. You're just not providing an environment for the horse to thrive. And you have to understand that as the leader of that particular horse or of that particular herd, you have to provide an environment for that horse to thrive. What does that look like in your teams? What does that look like maybe in within your family? Maybe you're a leader in your family, you're a leader at work, you're a leader at school. Are you providing a conducive environment for the people that you lead to thrive? Just want to pause it right there before we get back into these slides and give you an opportunity to think about that. Are you providing an environment for the people that you're leading to thrive? So let's jump into horse way versus human way. So in this comparative analysis, we will explore the similarities and the differences between human and horses and how they handle various situations emotionally. By examining their behavior, understanding their unique characteristics, we can gain valuable insight into their respective emotions. All right. So let's jump right in. So we're going to talk about the horse way or the human way versus the horse way. And this particular category is what we call the emotional range. The emotional range. Humans possess a vast emotional range capable of experiencing a wide array of emotions such as joy, sadness, anger, fear, and even more emotions. This emotional spectrum is intricately linked to the complex cognitive process of social interactions. Our ability to communicate and empathize with allows us to excuse. I'm sorry, wait a minute. Let me get back to the slide. This thing is getting in my way. It allows us to express and share our emotions effectively. Now, that's the human way. But the horse way is this: horses too have emotions, but their emotional range is more limited compared to humans. They primarily experience basic emotions like fear, contentment, anger, and curiosity. These emotions are closely tied to the instinctual nature as prey animals, serving as survival mechanisms in their environment. Horses rely on subtle body language and nonverbal cues to communicate their emotional state. So the reason why that's so important when we're talking about the emotional range is that primal emotion of survival, and that's all the horses are in. They're in survival mode. They are prey animals, so essentially everything in their mind is out to kill them. And so that's why they're uniquely aware of their environment. They're uniquely aware of what's going on. And many times I've had a situation where I'm walking with the horse and I had the lead rope, and then the horse just stops. Now, I can't see what's going on, but there was definitely a change in the environment that the horse became uniquely aware of. And because they were uniquely aware of this change, now as the leader with working with that horse, I have to see what's going on with that horse so I can provide, once again, an environment for that horse to thrive and that horse to understand that is okay. All right. So let's go back to the slide for a second. That's the emotional range. Let's go to the perception of the environment. Our perception, this is the human way, our perception of the environment is influenced by our cognitive processes, memories, and past experiences. We often interpret situations based upon complex thoughts and emotions, allowing or nuanced responses. Humans can reflect on the past, anticipate the future, and adjust their emotions accordingly. Have you ever been in a situation where I was just watching this show the other night, right? So this is a show called Sisters. And so in the show called Sisters, there's this character named Karen. And Karen, everybody thought that Karen had died and burned up in the building, right? So everybody was just crying, and all her friends were standing outside the building and they were crying, and oh my gosh, Karen is dead. But in actuality, Karen was not dead. Karen walked up and said, "Hey, what we crying about? What's wrong?" In an instant, they were basing their emotions off the information that they were receiving. Now, the information that they were receiving was not accurate. And because the information that they were receiving was not accurate, that information allowed their emotions or they allowed their environment, that information to dictate what was going on. But the information wasn't true. That's how we are as humans. But horses respond to the information that they're given. And as the information that they're given, it doesn't matter whether it's true or not, it's true to them. So let's see how horses actually get an opportunity to perceive an environment. In contrast, horses perceive the environment primarily through their senses, focusing on the present moment. Their sensory awareness is finely tuned, enabling them to detect the subtle change in their surroundings, especially signs of danger. Horses instinctively respond to immediate threats or perceived threats, relying on their heightened flight or fight response. I can remember I had this one horse. Actually, I still have this horse. His name is Greatness, and Greatness is not a flight type horse. He's not a runner. He's a freezer. So when he gets some information that is new or information that is different, he'll stop and freeze. And many times we'll talk about the four responses that people get. We have the fight, the flight, the freeze, and the fawn. He said, "Your Tila says her splits and runs." Many horses are off. They're like, "Hey, I'm out of here. I'm running." And so with that, once again, if that's what your horse does, you have to be able to provide as a leader the environment that settles that horses down. So in an upcoming slide, we're going to be talking about neurons, mirror neurons, and mirror neurons are basically horses mirroring the neurons that is going on with inside a person or individual. And so you have, if you've ever seen a horse that didn't want to cross water, and then another horse that is used to the water come and cross the water, and then that other horse that is a little bit scared, they get a they get the notion that, oh, it must be safe. See, once again, that horse is responding to an environment that is conducive for them. And so, once again, as leaders, how do we provide a conducive environment for the people that we are leading? Most leaders lead from a place of authority, but they should be leading from a place of empathy, putting themselves in the people's shoes that they actually lead. All right, let's jump back up into the slide. So we had the perception of environment, and now we talk about the response to stressful situations. Now, most people, I would say, don't handle stressful situations properly. You have people who overeat. You have people who just allow things to stress them out. They'll start cursing you out. They'll fight, whatever. And humans, we sometimes we are ready for war when it comes to a stressful situation. And so, with that, I want to really kind of pay attention to. I want you really to pay attention to this particular avenue of how horses differ from handling stressful situations. When faced with stressful situations, humans tend to engage in cognitive processing, contemplating various options and potential outcomes. We can evaluate risk, seek support from others, and draw upon past experience to cope with stress. Emotional responses may vary depending on an individual's personality traits, cultural influence, and personal histories. Meanwhile, the horse responds to stress primarily through instinctive fight or flight. Those horses are ready to run. When it comes to stress, I'm out of here. Just like Tila was saying, they're like, hey, man, I'm out of here. So, when confronted with a perceived threat, their first instinct is to flee. If escape is not possible, they may resort to defensive behaviors such as kicking and biting. Horses heavily rely on their acute awareness of their surroundings to gauge the potential of danger, and their reactions are often swift and decisive, man. So there, with that, horses are like, yo, I'm out of here. I don't care. It's a wrap. And so we have to be careful that we don't necessarily adopt that behavior and adopt that mindset as leaders. I've been in situations where people are quick to run away as soon as hits. As soon as the stress hits, they out. And but like you said, what is that based upon? Past experiences, uh, past influences, and personality traits. And so within all that, we have to make sure that how we respond to a particular situation is the best way to respond in that situation. Social and emotional bonds. Human emotional experiences are deeply intertwined with social connections and relationships. We form intricate bonds with others, which provide emotional support, empathy, and a sense of belonging. Our ability to communicate verbally and through facial expressions further enhance these social skills. Meanwhile, horses are highly social animals, forging strong bonds within their herd. Their social structures is their social structure is based on trust, hierarchy, and cooperation. They communicate through body language and vocalization, establishing and maintaining relationship with herd members, emotional bonds between horses are essential for their overall well being, helping them regulate stress and provide a sense of security. So, if you've ever been or watched an ad that said this is a companion horse and not used for riding, that's basically a situation where horses don't thrive by themselves. They need some social dynamic in order to be able to work things out. They need uh, that energy to bounce off of. Horses who live by themselves have a tendency to not live long, just like people. And so, with that, that social structure is very important for a horse to understand and a horse to actually work through. And so, with that, I just want to kind of give a quick review of all the information that we've shared tonight. And we're talking about the emotional range, the perception of environment, the response to stressful situations, and the social and emotional bonds. And so, with that, I want to actually share a quick video of it's from a behind the scenes movie with an actor that was actually working with a horse. If you've ever heard of the movie called The Harder They Fall, it came out on Netflix last year sometime. But this particular actor, Jonathan Majors, had an opportunity to work with his horse, and he gives a very introspective look about his time with working with this horse. So I want to play this video, and then I want to talk about the video after we watch this video.
And also the relationship he had with his horse. Hi, my name is Jonathan Majors, and this is Training Day with The Harder They Fall. Giddy up.
That love, the outlaw, hunts down those who trespass against him.
What does Nat Love bring to the table? What he is good at? I'm not gonna say better than anybody else at, but what he is good at is horse riding, shooting, fighting. He's a fighter. All of that kind of comes from his emotional life, you know, and the need that needs to happen. I grew up in Texas, so I'm familiar with horses. There's a lot of prep before you get on the horse. If you are in a bad mood, the horse will know. Cinco, which was my horse's name, love you Cinco, very much. Cinco, he would know.
Yeah.
And so what would happen is you would have to find a way to get in a good mood, to get calm enough for this beautiful animal to hold you. Some of the moves that we do on those horses is quite dangerous. All the stunt work on Cinco, I did it. You have to do it at speed. There's no visual effect for that. It has to happen on the day. It's cowboy, cowgirl, outlaw, it's go time. The higher the stakes go, it's odd, but the calmer you have to be in order to communicate what is happening. And that took a lot of time for me and Cinc. I would meet him on the weekends. We would ride and I'd talk to him. I mean, there's a moment when I'm pushing down the galleyway. I say, come on, Cinc. And he goes, woo! He's like, okay, I got you, bro. Bam, and we take out. We're feeling each other, you know. That's probably the most rewarding thing. The gallop down, the hop off, you know, that for me was the most exhilarating. The cast wasn't there for that sequence. We shot that with second unit. And so it was the beautiful stunt fellas and myself to do a film that was so physically demanding and then to actually be able to do every single stunt. It's kind of like a bucket list kind of thing.
Whoa, easy there. Listen to what the man got to say first.
So he can tell me the same stories he been telling you.
I remember Joey, who was our coordinator, we were like, do you want to shoot today? I was like, no, I don't want to shoot today. I just want to work on getting it out and putting it in. And very slowly, we began to build that. Take it out, turn it. And then, of course, it becomes second nature. But it's only after the process of doing that and the ballet of the gun work. And so that type of methodical approach to the gun work really led into the scene work as well, because we're thinking about every move we make. The most fulfilling stunt is probably the Dance of Death. That's with me and Zazie Beetz, because she and I built that together. And everything you've thought about these two, it was our job in that moment to bring that to fruition. We knew it was going to be a 360, and in that, we're back to back. And you see the dynamics of their love. You see why he came back for her. You see why she wanted to sacrifice herself for him. And that moment was so special to me because there was no dialogue. It could have easily been shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up. But now it's a dance. They're actually making love. It's on. It was very rewarding. Be sure to check out.
So I saw that video and I was like, man, I need to use this because it was awesome. He talked about the connection that he had to have with his horse. He talked about that nonverbal communication that was so important in order for him to even do those scenes, in order for him to even go after and accomplish what he was trying to accomplish. He talked about his nonverbal, that the horse would be able to feel, what he was feeling. If he was in a bad mood, the horse knew it. And so many times we, as leaders, as individuals, as human beings, we lie to others saying, oh, I'm fine. Oh, there's nothing wrong. But our energy is saying something. And so this just happened to me today. I have one horse in particular. Her name is Joy. And if I'm just walking through the field with no intention, Joy will come up to me. She'll take apples out my hand. She'll, just do stuff with me. She'll just do all different types of things with me. If I have a lead rope in my hand or on my body, or I have the energy of, hey, I need to ride Joy today, Joy would not come near me. And the reason why I bring that up is being present or being aware of how you show up in the world is so important as a leader. As a leader, you have to be able to understand the energy that you're working with or the energy that you're dealing with way before you enter into the boardroom. And I'm talking about from the barn to the boardroom, you have to understand how you are showing up. Because you can try to lie to people, but you won't be able to lie to your horse. And when you understand how you show up in the world, the energy that you present, and understand how everything is situated with yourself, you now are stepping into that authenticity that you need in order to be an effective leader. So, in order to be effective leader, it's not about how many things you've sold or not about how many things that you have done in your past. What it is about you being able to be present and in the moment with the people that are you are now responsible for. So, what does leadership look like? What are some of the greatest needs that a person will have the opportunity to take advantage of as a leader? You represent that leader to that horse. Whether you're working, whether you're new to horses or whether you're a seasoned veteran with the horse, you have always have to have the mindset and the understanding that you represent the leader. I am the herd leader, and that's the reason why we call our organization the Herd Leader Academy, because we want to be able to create leaders in every herd. Whether your herd is a personal family herd, whether your herd is a work herd or a school herd, you are that leader. So I want to talk about the three greatest needs of being a leader. These are the three greatest needs of being a leader. We polled some leaders, and we also pulled up some information of some Gallup polls, and these are the three greatest things of being a leader. Leadership is about inspiring and guiding others towards a common goal, and understanding these needs will help you become an effective leader and also a respected leader. Have you guys ever had a leader that y'all didn't respect? Somebody that you're like, yeah, he the boss, but I don't respect him. There's a different type of energy when you have somebody that is in a leadership role but doesn't have the respect of those that he leads. So in order to be an effective leader, these are the three things that we have found that helps people to become, or the three greatest needs of being a leader: vision and direction. Vision and direction. The first and foremost thing you need as a leader is to have a clear vision and provide direction to their team. A vision is a compelling picture of the future that motivates and guides everyone towards a shared objective. I know we got some people that are on the line right now that are watching, that are preparing to do some great works and some great things. But at the same time, you have to be able to provide, because see, if you're unclear, the people that you lead will be unclear. The people that you want to get on board with unclear. So you need to make sure that you have a clear vision, a clear vision and a clear direction. With a clear direction, it inspires and aligns. A vision gives your team a sense of purpose and inspires them to work toward a common goal. It aligns everyone's efforts, ensuring that they are moving in the same direction. Now, it also gives you an opportunity to guide the decision making. When the vision is clear, the vision makes the decisions. With a clear vision, you can make informed decisions that support the long-term goals of the organization. It provides the framework of the framework for prioritizing tasks and allocating resources effectively. Not only does it does that, but it also builds confidence. When your team sees a confident leader with a clear vision, it instills confidence in them that they will trust your guidance and they are more likely to follow your lead. The reason why that's so important is to have a clear vision is because people get frustrated. I can remember there was this uh, Cat Williams skit, and Cat Williams was talking about it was an old Cat Williams, and he was talking about George Bush, and he was talking about how we've been in the desert for so long looking for Saddam Hussein, not Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden. And he said, we just been running and running, going around and around in the desert. And I've seen this rock 30 different times. And I can't find. See, the vision wasn't clear on why we were in that particular war in the first place. The morale was low in the army. The troops were like, man, I don't know what's going on. Because first it was weapons of mass destruction. Then it was this. Then they was like, oh, this is the biggest terrorist. So the vision wasn't even clear. And because the vision wasn't clear, the troops became frustrated and morale is low. So the first thing that I want you to know and understand as a leader is your vision has to be clear. Where you are going and what you are doing and what you're trying to accomplish has to be clear. Because if it's not clear to you, it won't be clear to the people that you are leading, and it won't be clear to the people that you need stuff from. Second, effective communication. You have to be able to have effective communication as a leader. As a leader, you must possess excellent communication skills to convey your ideas, expectations, feedback effectively. Communication is the lifeblood of a successful leader. It fosters understandings. It gives clear and concise communication. It ensures that everyone understands the goals, expectations, and roles within their team. It minimizes confusion and promotes a shared understanding of what the needs are to be done. It provides trust and rapport. Open and honest communication builds trust and rapport among team members when you communicate transparently and create an environment where everyone feels valued and respected. And then it facilitates collaboration. Effective communication encourages collaboration and teamwork. It enables the exchange of ideas, promotes active listening, and allows for constructive feedback, leading to a better solving problem and innovation. See, here's the thing that's so important about effective communication. With effective communication, people now understand if a vision is clear and is communicated properly, or even in an environment where it is communicated effectively and the communication is clear, people now understand there's no confusion is what the expectations are. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody had some expectations from you and their communication skills were minimal or their communication skills were ineffective, and it created more tension because you didn't know what they were talking about? I had a friend back in Miami where I grew up, and he would always end every sentence with, "You know what I'm talking about? Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm talking about?" And we got people like that in our lives. So we know people like that where they say, "You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying?" And you're like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't know what you're saying." Effective communication, you have to look at effective communication like this. Years ago, I used to travel to different countries and do missionary work. And when I would travel to these countries and do missionary work, I would always have to have an interpreter. The interpreter had the knowledge of English, and he had the knowledge of the language in which I was, the island or the place that I was speaking. And so if I go to a country where they only speak Spanish and I only speak English, we're both speaking in our native language and we're both talking. But if no understanding is taking place, then everything that we were trying to accomplish is null and void. So, in order to be an effective communicator, you have to not only learn your language, you also have to learn the language of those that you have an opportunity to be in contact with. So, it's going to require more information, it's going to require more study, it's going to require more investment on your part in order to be effective in the situation that you're going into. When you're going after some money, when you're going after different resources, you have to speak the language of those people in which that you're trying to go after, not just speaking your language. Because you can sit there and say, well, this is what we want to do. But what's the why behind what you want to do? And if the people that you're trying to go after or do business with, if they don't understand your why, then guess what? Communication is not going to be effective. Let's go to the next slide. Empathy and emotional intelligence. This one is so very important in today's day and time in order to be a leader. Like I said earlier, most leaders lead from a place of authority, but they don't lead from a place of empathy. Leaders must recognize the importance of empathy and emotional intelligence in building strong relationships and understanding their team members' needs. This is important because when leaders show empathy, they create a supportive and inclusive environment. Team members feel valued and understood, leading to strong bonds and increased collaboration. And not only increased collaboration, but also increased productivity. Resolves conflicts. Emotional intelligence helps leaders navigate conflicts by understanding different perspectives and emotions, and it allows you to address conflicts in empathy, finding win-win solutions that satisfy everyone that is involved. It motivates and inspires. By understanding emotions and motivations of your team members, you can also provide the right support and motivation, celebrate successes, offer constructive feedback, and inspire them to reach their full potential. This is so important because many people don't understand empathy. They understand sympathy, but they do not understand empathy. Sympathy is, oh, I feel sorry for you. But empathy is the opportunity to understand that, you know what? I not only feel sorry for you, I put myself in your shoes and I want to understand how you feel. So, as we understand the three dynamics of leadership or the three greatest needs of leadership, what in the world does this have to do with horses? So, that's what I want to break. I want to break that down. How can horses help you become a better leader? So, vision and clarity. Okay, we talked about vision and clarity, or vision and clarity. Nonverbal communication. See, Horses are highly perceptive animals that respond to nonverbal cues. They reflect our energy and intentions, making it crucial for leaders to be aware of their body language and signals. Their awareness helps leaders align their actions and their intentions, fostering clarity in their communication. Just like I said, talked about my horse earlier today with Joy. When I and want her to work, she already knows the energy that I'm giving off. I'm giving off that energy. I have to be actively present. And so if you're going to be a leader and you're talking about vision and you're talking about clarity, everything has to be in alignment so that you will have that opportunity to really understand what you're doing. Because if not, if you're confused, guess what? The people that you are leading are confused. Watch this. Establishing boundaries. Horses teach us the importance of setting clear boundaries and defining expectations. Leaders must establish boundaries in their team, articulating their vision and their goals. By working with horses, leaders can practice. That's an important word. You have to practice. Practice can creating a clear space of collaboration and define the desired outcomes. See, the more you practice this with the horses, the more you can implement it into your everyday life. So as you're working with the horses, you start seeing different things. Oh, this is like this situation. Oh, this is like this situation. And you become to begin practice. Even myself, I have to be consciously aware of the vibes and the energy and everything that I'm thinking about, even when I'm working with the horses. I work with the horses every day. So I'm constantly checking, okay, what's going on here? How am I showing up here? How do I have to actively be in the moment in order to lead the people that I lead, in order to grow the business that I have, in order to accomplish the goals that I have? It's very important to be clear and present with all the information that you're given. Immediate feedback. This is one of the major ones. Horses provide immediate and instant feedback through their interactions or through their reactions. Leaders can observe how horses respond to their instructions and adjust their approach accordingly. This feedback loops helps leaders redefine or refine their vision, ensuring that it is clear, compelling, and easily understood by their team. Effective communication skills. How do horses help you with your effective communication skills? Listening, active listening. Horses are sensitive to the presence and intentions. Leaders can learn to be fully present and actively listen to subtle signs horses give off. This skill transfers to their interaction with their team members and those they are leading, allowing them to be attentive and responsive to their listeners. Have you ever been in a situation where you knew the person wasn't listening to you? You're like, man, this dude ain't even pay attention to me. Why? Because of their body language. And then so as a public speaker, I would constantly have to read the audience of when I'm speaking. Many times I would have to change my speech mid-speech because of the response I was getting by the audience. I had to do something different to get their attention. I had to switch the language in order for them to understand. And so I was getting that immediate feedback. And because I was getting that immediate feedback, I can now make the switch in order for the people to understand. Non-judgment communication. Horses offer a safe environment for leaders to practice. Once again, there's that word, practice non-judgmental communication. By interacting with horses, leaders learn to communicate without criticism or blame. This skill helps them create a supportive and open atmosphere when they're working within their teams. Consistency and clarity. Horses respond to consistency and clear communications. Leaders must develop the ability to give concise and clear, consistent instructions to their team members, ensuring everyone is on the same page. Working with the horses help leaders redefine their communication style and delivering a message with clarity and purpose. Empathy and emotional intelligence. How do horses help you do that? By regulating and reading emotions. So powerful. Horses are experts at reading human emotions. They react to our emotions and energy, allowing leaders to become more aware of their own emotional state. Through the observation of horse behaviors, leaders can learn to regulate their emotions effectively. Building trust and rapport. Horses are incredibly sensitive to trust and authenticity. Leaders develop their empathy by understanding their meeting needs of the horses. This ability, this ability to build uh, trust transfers to the interaction with team, fosters stronger relationships and cooperation. Resolving conflicts. Horses provide an excellent opportunity for leaders to practice conflict resolution. By observing horses' interaction and resolving conflicts with empathy, leaders gain insight into addressing conflicts within their teams, leading them to better collaboration and understanding. It's so important that we understand that horses are not magic, but they are majestic. And what I mean by that is when we're working with horses, it's not just a magic thing that's going to happen that's going to make you a better leader, but it's the investment that you make in the understanding as you're working with horses, being present with horses, that word that we use, practicing being empathetic, practicing having clear and a clear vision, practicing effective communication. I can remember one time that I had this horse named Greatness, a great big guy, and every time I try to bring Greatness into the barn, he stops. And so I had to start paying attention to what was making him stop. And I came to the conclusion that many times horses are looking for partnership. They're not always looking to be led. So I was trying to tug him with the lead rope, but in actuality, he was looking for a partner. He wanted me to get beside him in that moment of going into transition, going into a new situation. He wanted a partner at that moment. He didn't necessarily want a leader. And so just little lessons like that gives us the opportunity to understand and learn that horses can gives us the opportunity to be more effective in our communication, more clear in our vision, and increase our level of empathy. Before I move to the next stage of all the information that we're sharing tonight, I want to open up the line right now for any questions, comments, or concerns about the information that I shared tonight. If you are in the chat, just say hey, or put your hand up, and in that way I can bring you in and answer your question. We got a couple of people on the line. Any questions, comments, or concerns that you want to ask about the information that I was sharing? No? Yes? Cynthia? Taylor? No? Excellent. I think I did my job. I think I did my job. Good. All right, cool. Excellent. So, what I'm getting ready to share now is just an opportunity to how you can work with the Herd Leader Academy. Cynthia, you had a question I saw, or you said you'd be right back. You had a question? What you got?
I'm going to get a pen so I can write down what you're about to say.
Oh, okay, no problem, no problem. All right, cool. All right, excellent. Um, so the information that we're getting ready to share is what we call our Unleashing the Inner Leader program. And so you get an opportunity to work with the Unleashing Your Leader program. And I've always had the notion that leaders create leaders. That's leaders don't create followers. Leaders create leaders. And so that's what the herd leader is all about. The herd leader is in the business of creating leaders through the equine assisted activities. I see Tila, you say you had a comment. Jump on in here, kid. What you got to say?
Hey, what's up?
What
Is it
I
working?
see you at the
Okay.
barn.
I
Hey, what's
am I
happening?
am at the barn right now. I am at the barn. No, I mean, I think it was a lot of really good information. It'd be really interesting next time to maybe even talk through like an example that we could all kind of like, I don't know, talk through like more specifically because I'm definitely, I don't know, the stuff around accountability and being really present like definitely resonates. I know one of the things that has really stood out to me in working with horses and with like leadership is around like being really reactive. Like I noticed that the more I work with my horse, I'm less reactive to things that are just happening in the moment. Not that I'm not aware and not paying attention, but right, there's like that emotional component that like can come up. And yeah, it's just like getting in like being having a really reactive moment. So I know that was something else that come up. Oh, he wants to come say hi.
What's up,
Uh
Prince?
but yeah, so it's good. I'm excited for more of these.
All right, excellent, excellent. So, with that, you're totally right. I was trying to keep everything into an hour, and there was so much content, so much information that I wanted to share. I wanted to get those,
Yeah.
build those foundation, and you're absolutely correct. I'm going to be bringing out some more of those. More examples of that because once
Mm,
again I work with horses every day, and with
mhm.
working with horses every day there's always something I'm like, dude, it's always something that you're learning or always something that you're experiencing that could be applicable to your everyday life or applicable to a situation. And you're absolutely correct, so we will take that into account, and we do have those particular examples, and we will share those on the next set of information and curriculum. But thank you so
All
much
right.
for bringing that comment in. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Anybody else? Anybody else? Bingo, you ain't got nothing to say? You good over there? Bingo eating. That's what's going on. Cool. So I just wanted to share a quick opportunity how you have an opportunity to work with the Herd Leader Academy and all the work that we do. I am a certified equine specialist, and as a certified equine specialist, we study human behavior. We study horse behavior and draw the parallel lines of how people now have the opportunity to understand how working with horses can help them become not only better professionally but also better personally as well. And so with that I wanted to share this program that we're actually going to be launching next month, and this is our Inner Leader Academy membership package. So basically, you have a foal, mare, and stallion package. And so with that, we have so much content. I mean, so much. I mean, we have hours and hours of content that we have not released yet. We've been waiting for the everything to unfold, but I'm just going to break these down to you. I'm not trying to pitch anybody tonight. I want you to think about it. There is an investment required, and so with that, you could just circle back and send me an email and say, hey, I want to be a part of that. And so our full package basically is you get access to all our core curriculum, and then you get one leadership coaching session. For those of you who don't know, I am a certified coach. Before I even started doing Sofa Ranch, I was a consultant and coach. So I was a consultant and coach, and my area of expertise was communication. I'm an author of a book called Disgustingly Beautiful: The Good, Bad, and Ugly of Communication. And so that was a relationship book. But what my coach did, he said, what makes a good relationship? And I talked about the foundation that made a good relationship. And then he asked me, well, what makes a good business? And then the same thing that made a good personal relationship were the same things of same foundation that made a good business. And so that's how I transferred into the consulting space, giving opportunities to leaders to become more effective leaders through communication. And so that's how that particular transferred. One, leadership coaching and access to horses once a month, so you get access opportunity to come here, Sofa Ranch, and work with the horses, and monthly access to the audio content. We just established a partnership with a couple of podcasts, and so you'll have access to all those different libraries. And so that's the full particular package. The Mare package Don't you love these names? Everything all about horses. Access to our core curriculum 7 days before it comes available. You get 2 leadership coaching sessions a month. Access to the horses twice a month. A bi-weekly access to the audio content learning, and 1 equine assisted learning session. That is so powerful to this particular package, because now you get to see in action and experience in action what equine assisted learning is all about, breaking down the nuances of your empathy, your communication skills, your clear vision. We actually work hands on with you to help you develop those particular skills through 1 session a month, equine assisted learning. And then we have our stallion package. And our stallion package, basically, you get everything 14 days in advance. You get weekly leadership coaching sessions, unlimited access to the horses within operating hours. You just can't come out here in the middle of the night talking about you're gonna mess with some horses. Uh, Weekly access to the audio content, and you get 2 equine assisted learning sessions per month. And then you get a bonus package of where we are actually, once again, we have partnered with some other leadership content creators that will be doing some, once again, some podcasts and some information on, and you'll have an opportunity to get a Q&A, special Q&A with that as well. So if that sounds like something that you maybe want to participate in, just go ahead and send us an email, and we'll get you all the detail on how you can participate in our Inner Leadership Academy, or Inner Leader, Unleash the Inner Leader Within You program. And again, I'm going to put that information on the screen so that you'll have an opportunity to see it. The full package is just $47 a month. The Mare package is $67 a month, and the Stallion package, you get everything for $107 a month. And I'm gonna tell you this: for $107 a month, right? You get 2 equine assisted learning sessions by me or someone on my staff. One of my equine assisted learning sessions is $205 by itself. So you're getting a great opportunity to learn and develop your skills through leadership and working with horses. So I'm trying to, that's just kind of like the value of that particular package. So one session with me is $205 through equine assisted learning. So $107, deep discount, deep discount. I'm not trying to break nobody's pockets. Here's the thing: I can't die with all this information. I can't, and I have to give it. And guess what? The more I give it, the more people I get an opportunity to impact. And so that's what we're really about. We're all about giving people the opportunity to be impacted by the wonderful power of equine assisted learning and equine assisted activities. So that's all I got tonight, guys. We're going to open up the floor for any questions, comments, or concerns about the information that we shared. If there are no questions, comments, or concerns about the information, and we're almost within our time, we're 4 minutes over time, but I think that's still good with all the information that we shared. So, any questions, comments, or concerns? Going once, going twice. Boom, we are out of there, folks. Thank you guys so much for attending this webinar. And if, once again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at info@herdleaderacademy.com. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. If you want to take advantage of the program, send us an email and we'll get you all signed up. God bless and good night.